All right, everyone, welcome back to the Be Healthy and Thrive podcast. I am Brianna Wilkerson, your host, holistic health and life coach, and essential oils advocate. And today with me, I have one of my clients, Pam, who just has a beautiful story of just really growing in her mindset towards health and life. And this month, as we talk about just choosing more for your health and life, I think it's just very important to see that that starts in the mind. And so I wanted to interview Pam and feature someone else who has been doing that. So thanks so much for joining us, Pam.
You're welcome.
Yay. So maybe just introduce yourself, like say who you are, what you do, and what made you kind of want to start coaching and start that process for yourself?
Okay. Pam Shepley. I live in northern Maine, and I work as a retirement income planning professional. And I tend to kind of follow the negative thoughts in my mind down to, as they say, down into the rabbit hole of thinking and rethinking. And, you can get yourself in a really dark place. And I know all of how to think more positively, but I think it's very helpful to have somebody by your side catching you when you say the things that aren't true, or helping you look at things in a different light. We all come from a different place, and everyone has a story to tell. And I think being coached helps you see some ideas or possibilities that you would never otherwise. So that's why I searched you out, Vienna.
Searched me out. And, we've known each other, I don't know how long, but, you were in my Facebook group and email list, and then you also use the oils too. So multiple points of contact with you. So glad to be able to support you. So, personal growth and development is very huge to me, and I can see it is to you because we'll talk and you'll like go read a book right away. And I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. You're very serious about growing and developing who you are. And can you just kind of share some of the ways that you've grown this past, few months or this year, however long, and what were some of the things that you did to start that process of growth other than coaching?
There's a few things that have happened in my life and people that I have met that have helped me grow. I ran into an organization of women business professionals, and I found out that they had a mentoring program where, again, it's like coaching, more on a professional level. So I signed up, and I was mentored for quite a few years. I had found that after working where I'm at now for almost 30 years that I was starting to get bored, and they helped me with my mindset to realize that I had a lot to offer here. And they helped me think through and be brave enough to go to management and talk about other ways that I could help the firm other than what I was doing, and one of them being a retirement specialist. So that was hard for me to do. They're men here in management, and I was very lucky to have women who have been in that position before help me through that process. You talked about books. About the same time, I read the book Quiet by Susan Cain, and that talks about introvertedness. And I never realized all the time that I was working in this business, I was trying to be like the more extroverted guys in the office. And I was frustrated because I couldn't be them. And I was like, well, what's wrong with me? I kept trying to grow in a way that I wasn't meant to grow. So reading that book and understanding that I'm fine the way I am, I just process information differently. I'm more thoughtful, slower thinker, a deeper thinker. But we need both in the world. So that was another mindset change, paradigm change. Anyways, that helped me out a lot. And yeah, and then you have helped me in that I was asked to be on, well, I found out there was an opportunity to be on the board of this organization of women. Um, their national board, they were looking for people to fill positions. And I was like, how, that seemed like a really, a job for somebody with more capability than me. But then I got to thinking, listening to what I was saying to myself, and I was like, well, what makes me think I can't do that? What makes me think I can't be like those other women and be on this board? And so I put in an application and I went through 2 interviews and I've been accepted to the board. So
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
I
Go,
guess
Pam.
you have to listen to what you're saying to yourself and then turn around and be your own best friend and look at yourself and say, is that really true? Having a coach helps too.
Whoop, whoop. I love what you said there. Like, you have to listen to yourself and then turn around and really like be your own best friend and say, like, is that true? I'm gonna have to write that one down. But it's so true, because I think many of the times that we have this desire to do something, to just achieve something, whether it's running a 5K or, you know, applying for this national board. And we've trained ourselves, especially as women, especially women who have maybe more introverted qualities too, to like be small, you know, and to be smaller and to never ask and just take whatever is coming because you just be grateful for it. And I was listening to this book, finished it today, called Girl Wash Your Face. And it's just about lies, like a lie or insecurity this woman struggled with, and then like just disbanding the lie, right? And one of them is, I have to be small. And it really stuck out to me because I think sometimes I feel that way. Like, you know, I'm multi-passionate. I love multiple things. And it's just how I am and how in this season of life I want to be. But I feel like sometimes people think it's too much, or like I need to be small. I got to like listen to people. I got to only, but that's not true. And that's why I'm so proud of you for like going forth and being like, no, I'm going to apply for this board. And if it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be. Like, I have something to offer. So
Yep.
you overcame that lie of being too small or like not good enough by taking action in some way.
Yep.
Yeah. And so proud of you, super proud of you. So then if someone's listening right now and they are like, oh man, you know, because Pam, like, you know, you're older and but you're still growing. And I think that's the thing, is that a lot of people think it's too late for me. I've had kids. It's too late. I'm in this position. It's too late. And even now, you know, in one of our sessions, you talked about maybe I could start my own business, like on the side or something, you know? And what started that with you? Like this idea of like, not only can I personally grow, but I could do something new. Like what sparked that desire to maybe start something new?
Well, again, the idea came in my mind. I think as I get older, I also, and I'm a retirement planner, I could see the future of a time when I might not want to come to the office every day. And I was like, well, what's my life going to be like? And then I got to thinking, well, you know, I could do what I'm doing from home. And then that's when it came to me, well, what I do, I can do nowadays. We can do things virtually. Look at what you and I are doing. We're like as far away and on the earth as we could be, but we're still doing things together. So that was another, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never worked on my own. You know, I've always had a boss. And so then again, I told myself, well, why couldn't I do that? And why not think about it and, you know, pursue little steps? I'm not sure I'm ready to do it right now, but that doesn't mean I won't do it whenever the time is right.
Right. Because the first thing, and you know this, like we talk about mindset a lot, but the first thing is just belief, like believing something's possible. Then you're like, then you start thinking it and feeling it and saying it and taking action in some way, right? But if you
Yeah.
don't believe it's possible, then it won't be. And so you just even conquered the biggest thing people try to change. People are like, oh, I'm going to change what I do. You're like, no, I got to change my belief. And so
Mhm. Yep. Baby
very, very,
steps.
very, very powerful. All right. Well, I mean, I'm so inspired by you now. Even hopefully others listening are inspired as well. So if anyone is listening and they're like, okay, I want to do, also get support in what should I do in regards to growing my mind or, just choosing more for my life, what would that be, that one bit of encouragement or advice you would give them?
Uh, Listen to your thoughts, listen to yourself, and see what thoughts might be holding you back. And then listen to Brianna's podcast.
You're so
Because
funny. Love
there's
it.
a, I've learned a lot. Because for me, I need to hear things like what I'm saying to myself over
Mm-hmm.
and over again. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so, like listening to your podcasts, you hear various people saying sort of the same thing, just in different ways from their viewpoint in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we as women really need to, as a group, believe in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Being held back in a lot of ways. So,
Yeah.
urge, well, if there's men out there listening too,
Yeah. Yeah.
to,
If there are.
to have courage. You are more than you believe you are.
Mm-hmm. So are there, I mean, you've told me you've listened to most of all of the episodes. So were
Listen to
there
them.
like a few, and I mean, we can get the links later, but were there a few that really stuck out to you and why it stuck out? Because I want to make sure I link them in here so people can listen to it as well.
Oh my, I've listened to so many. Um, well, and I'm not going to remember the people or the
Mm-hmm.
subject, but the women who are home with children and still are following their passion. I mean, I wasn't I wasn't a stay-at-home mom. I worked, um, but I can't. I sit there and I just can't imagine uh, trying to grab pieces of time to do what you're passionate about. But there are women that are doing it, and so whenever I would hear um, some business or some encouraging program somebody was doing from their home when the little kids were napping or running in between soccer matches. Um, I just, I was in awe. Those are women that didn't let anything hold them back. They could be great moms and they could be of great service to our world. So
Mm.
um, you might remember who these people are.
Do you know what's so funny? Most to all of the women are moms. There
That's
was
right.
maybe, like, if I'm thinking back, there's maybe a handful that aren't yet, right? So that just does show you. And I mean, these women, I aspire to be them. Like, they're just huge influencers in this online community. And so that says something right there too, right?
The world is, the possibilities are limitless. You just have to kind of open your mind and start exploring. Don't
Yes,
have to do everything right now, but just start dreaming. Maybe something will
exactly.
happen.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Pam, for everything that you shared. Is there anything else that, as we wrap up, you feel like sharing, or you feel like shared it all?
Um, there's just a couple of things. One thing I wanted to mention about mindset that I struggled with. All of my life, I was a doer, do. Every hour on my schedule was committed to doing something. And then I got sick about a year ago. And um, I had a really hard time because I was tired and I was not the active woman that I used to be. And I really struggled with it. What is wrong with me? Why can't I bounce back? And finally, it took somebody to look at me and say, you have permission to stop doing all the things you are doing and just rest. I know not everyone has the luxury that I do, but I was on, at that time, I was on some committees and I was leading committees, and I just had to say, I have to be done right now. In this season of my life, I have to be done. So I want everyone to know you have permission to not be Superwoman when when you're not supposed to be. So that was an eye opener for me. And so I'm much kinder to myself now. When I'm tired, I just figure out ways to rest. It's not always easy. And a couple of mottos that have helped me through my life, in addition to why do I think I can't do something, is if it's something I'm afraid to do, sad to say, it's probably something I should be doing. And I've done things like this podcast and public speaking because I didn't want to do it, but I know it's something I needed to do to learn to get over the fear. And the other motto, because I'm an introvert, I would just love to sit in my house all day long and never come out. But I had to tell myself, just show up. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do anything. Just show up to whatever it is that I don't want to go to. And the Holy Spirit will take care of the rest. And that has worked very well for me. And I encourage other people, don't be afraid. You don't have to have everything planned out. Just show up. So that's tying it all up.
Yeah, so good. Man, where am I going to just show up now? So this is so good. So even as me, as someone who maybe have shared that with you, it's like so good to remind. And that's the thing I think about, podcasts, audiobooks, all this like inspirational stuff. It's just reminders of the truth, that when the truth isn't coming up, when you're just doubting and all this stuff, just say, nope, all of this truth. And so thank you so much. Earphones fell off. Thank you so much, Pam. If anyone wants to connect with you, they can find you on LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
LinkedIn is probably the best place for that.
Make sure my name is hard to spell, to say. So, just look for Brianna's links.
Yeah, I'll link there, Pam. Yeah. Yes, and anyone listening, I have a bunch of different resources around mindset, particularly 2 master classes, creating mindset and habits for powerful results, and the No Flaw I Am Enough master class that kind of deals with what you were talking about around often we feel like we don't do enough, aren't enough, and we can't be enough. So it's just that feeling of enoughness that really just signifies my journey and the work that I do. And then of course, later on in July, but by the time this goes live, I'll have my Tools for Success bundle that just really are 3 main tools that have helped me just be successful in my life and my business. So goal setting, bullet journaling, which creating your own planner, and vision boarding. So definitely check out that bundle and all of the links. And so thank you again, Pam, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a great one, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.